We're here with wrestling head coach Othello O.T. Johnson after a pretty successful day at the 34th annual Pembroke Classic. Coach, you had 18 place winners today, including four weight class champions in Hayden Fry, Terrence Zaleski, Daniel Owenby, and Juan Stimson. Just talk about your success on the day today and what you thought of your wrestlers.
Well, Coach, I definitely think the guys put himself in a position to do well. A lot of guys came out there this time around and did what we talked about. They handled their weights a lot better. Guys didn't balloon up and try to suck it all down in 2-3 days, and that showed in a lot of their matches. You saw some guys went from having two pre-ring matches to winning those matches that they were losing earlier in the season last weekend, and maybe even some of the guys that wrestled on Tuesday. So, some of the guys are listening, and some of them still have a little bit more to do because they could win some of those close matches. And right now we're happy for the guys that are having success, but at the same time we do feel like we can tighten things up a little bit with those guys that were in the finals and didn't pull it off because later in the day that 2-3 extra pounds you cut later in the week comes to hurt you in the finals because you don't have the energy because you spent that cutting weight. And and some of those guys may not just have the experience. That plays a lot into it. And without the experience, you got to do everything right. And if you do everything right, you got a chance to pull one off at the end. You got a chance to beat a guy you may not be projected to beat, and you got a chance to just outwork a guy. I mean, sometimes that's all it takes is outworking a guy, no matter how good he is. I guess an example of that where our guys could have done a little better job with their performance at the end with their conditioning would have been Reggie Allen. He got close there. He lost by one. Aisha Goodwin, he got close there. He lost in the finals. Obviously, Ridge White, he wrestled another one of his teammates. So that's kind of a unique situation there. But all those guys did a good job. They put themselves in a position to get a title. And obviously, the other guys that placed in the tournament, they continue to battle back. After maybe they didn't have things go their way, they didn't hang their head. They just fought and continue to get mat time, which is important in our progress here.